Hey there, it's Rick Mazick at Network Funding. Happy Friday. Hope you had a good week. But I wanted to reach out before the weekend with some information that I learned through a seminar, a web seminar that I was on earlier this week. There's some data in here that I want to show you. And for all of those who have been listening to Marry the House and Date the Rate for the last year, look, we've been waiting for rates to go down for over a year now. The expectation was that they might even come down in March when the Federal Reserve met. Didn't happen. Now the talk is for the rates to come down in June. But I have CNBC on all day long in the office, and I've been listening to some experts come on the air and actually talk about the possibility that we're not going to see a rate drop at all this year. And I'm going to show you why right now. So with some of the information that I got from this web seminar, first of all, it's important to note that the Federal Reserve has been stating that they're not going to cut interest rates until they get inflation down to 2%. Well, if you look at this chart right here, we're in March. Inflation is at 2.55%. If we use an estimated 0.2% in reduction in inflation, all the way through September, we're looking at a 2.35% in that core inflation rate. It's still not at 2%. So we're going to go through all of these meetings without inflation being at 2%. And by the end of the year, the Federal Reserve is probably going to be looking at this and saying, I don't see an opportunity here to drop interest rates yet. Okay. That being said, for those of you who are always hearing about the Marry the House and Date the Rate, I want to show you this example. And this is something I think that would be sufficient or important to show your buyers who are waiting for rates to come down. All right, let's take a $500,000 house as an example. And if you were to buy that house today, $500,000 purchase price, let's say they're putting 20% down, so the loan is going to be $400,000. It's a 30-year fixed, so that down payment, that 20% is $100,000, and let's say we're getting them a rate of 6.75% right now. That's going to result in a principal and interest payment of $25.94 per month, taxes and insurance not included yet. Let's say we wait a year and buy that same house. Average appreciation right now is 4.24% on properties. So that property is going to probably be worth $521 and change in a year. That'll be the price. Well, 80% of that, which is the opposite of the 20% down payment, your loan's going to go up to $416,960 from the $400. We're still looking at a 30-year fix, but so the down payment is going to go up as well because we're still looking at 20% down. But let's say we can get 5.75% in a year. That principal and interest payment is now going to be $24.33. So it is lower, and it's lower by $161 a month. The yearly cost, you take that 161, multiply it by 12, you get $19.32 a month. But we're going to be able to capitalize on lower interest rates next year by refinancing. So if we were able to do that, we're going to be looking at a refi cost of about $4,000. I'm just talking about the standard cost, no escrows or anything like that. Well, if that's the case, first, when we're going to come back to those figures in just a second, 39% of buyers are claiming that they're waiting for rates to come down as one of the top barriers to them purchasing right now. I love this line right here. Higher rates are a buyer's best friend. And here's why. For every 1% drop in interest rate, there are 5 million more buyers that are eligible to purchase homes. And that's based on NAR, or the source is NAR. And that just means all that more competition to purchase a home. All those offers, all those competing offers. I had a buyer, pre-approved buyer last week, put an offer on a house, 41 offers on the same house. Okay. And the tighter inventory that we still have, there's no indication inventory is going to increase yet. It's just going to get tighter. There are going to be less options for those buyers, and supply and demand is going to kick in, and we're going to see prices go higher. Going back to those figures that we were talking about, if we look at someone purchasing that house in that example that we used earlier, $1,932 in a higher mortgage payment for the year, $4,000 to refinance means the cost to buy now would be $5,932. But we saw that house appreciate by $16,960, that 4.24% appreciation. So when they refinance, they roll the closing costs into the loan. they're still to the better by $11,028 in net equity in their home. They didn't compete with anybody to buy the house, or they didn't compete with as many people to buy the house. They got the house now, and that equity is now theirs. They've earned the equity. They didn't buy it. Okay. So this is a great opportunity to show a buyer why they should purchase right now and not wait for rates to come down. It could be quite a while before we do see them come down. But if they do, there's still an opportunity to capitalize on it. And if you haven't seen the reel that I put out, the Facebook reels or the social media reels that I put out, 32% of the wealth, 2/3 of the wealth in this country is in the home equity of homeowners. And the average homeowner has a net worth that's 40 times greater than a renter. How's that for data to get somebody off the fence? If you have any questions, you need someone to fill out an application, go over any of this data, get a pre-approval, or just talk them off the ledge so that they'll buy a house now and do the right thing and start working on their financial independence, I'd love to work with you. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace.